Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Penapple and today I am building a house celebrating seasons. It is finally here. The expansion pack that I have been waiting for since the franchise came out, The Sims 4. So I'm very excited it's here. I had a blast building this and just, I've been like off the wall excited. Before I get too into that, if you're interested in this house, you can download it off of the gallery. My origin ID is penappleYT. This house doesn't have any CC in it. It is just base game and seasons. So that's the only pack you need for this build to put in your game. And it was a little bit difficult, let me tell you. Just because those three wallpapers we got in the corner over there, the top left corner, those are the only wallpapers we got in the game. So that first of all kind of made it a little difficult. We got some windows and some doors. I wasn't the biggest fan of them. I mean, they're really pretty. I really like them. They're just very similar to what we just got in Cats and Dogs. So I wasn't super inspired by them. You know, I wasn't like, oh, I've never had this before in the game. I have no idea how I'm going to use it. I saw it and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just use this. But the real thing I was excited that's kind of window-like is these new glass roofs that we got. That is a free patch. So if you have the base game, you have these roofs and they're amazing. I am very excited. They are a little bit finicky to work with. You kind of have to think ahead with them just because it's kind of hard to explain, but they are a little finicky, but I like how it turned out here, and I use them. My favorite thing to do with them is to make skylights, but that does require a lot of roofing pieces. Like the roof that you see right now on the screen, that has, I think it's like 6 maybe roof pieces for that, maybe 7, I'm not sure, but I have a lot of roofing going on there, like a lot, so it does get a little confusing. But here's some of those windows I was talking about. They look almost exactly the same as Cats and Dogs, so I wasn't the biggest fan of that. But anyways, I want to talk more about what I was really excited about. And oh my gosh, I thought I knew I didn't get any early access or anything. So I knew like when season was going to be released, and I thought it was going to be released God, I can't even talk, I'm too excited. I thought it was going to be released at midnight, my time, but instead it was released at 9 p.m., 3 hours earlier than I thought I would. And like, I had been like, I'm just going to go to bed. I'll wake up in the morning, set it to download. I have to jog still. I have to go to the doctor's office. I'll finally like play seasons when I get home. You know, I was going to be super adult. But then I found out that it dropped at 9, and I was like, going to my computer. I was downloading. I was screaming on Twitter and just freaking out. My boyfriend was like, oh God. I mean, he knows how important it is to me, but he was still a little bit like, there's a lot going on right now because she's screaming at 9 o'clock at night. But anyways, so I was just very excited for this to drop, and I started building this house pretty much immediately. I had tried to save myself as much as I could from spoilers, but I really only tried to save myself from build buy mode spoilers, and that didn't really work. And also there just wasn't enough for me to really be all that surprised, but I still had a blast. But here you can see I'm kind of futzing around with the roofing, and the thing with see-through roofs is that they're see-through, which sounds really dumb and an obvious thing to say, but that means you can see other roofs through them. So if you place a glass roof on top of a regular roof, you can see the regular roof. And so that does make it a little difficult. You have to be really precise with your placement. So that was like that's a little bit frustrating, and I think it will be a frustration. You can also see if you place a glass roof and then you place another one, you can see where they intersect as well. So that's why they're a little bit difficult to use, but they're still a really fun feature to have and to play around with, and I was really impressed with all the different swatches. I thought it was just going to be one type, but no, they had like really cool patterns. They had simpler ones. I thought they were only going to come in one roof type, but they come in all of them, which was really exciting too, so I was really pleased. But one of the reasons why I wanted to build this house in specific, or like the concept behind it, was I wanted a house that really you could live in for all 4 seasons. I wanted there to be a lot of outdoor space to enjoy. I wanted there to be ample lawn space so you could put down some of the bigger items, that sort of thing. And some of the stuff we already have in game, but not necessarily in the pack. So like, for example, it'd be really easy to fit a hot tub onto that big porch area, but I didn't put one there because that doesn't come in the seasons pack, but you can put one there if you have it. And if you don't have one, then that's still a cute space. So that was one of the things I was going for here. I really wanted there to be like a flow from indoor outdoor. I wanted it to be kind of obvious where like you could decorate stuff or put things for decorations, that sort of thing. So hopefully this is a really usable house. I have actually play tested a little bit. I almost never do that, but you know. Here I'm working on a skylight. You can see here the problem with, you can still see that roof underneath the skylight that I want. So I had to kind of rearrange the whole roof. And then I had this big gap at the top here. And so I was kind of uncertain how I was going to fix it. I thought I was just really wasn't sure what I was going to do. But I figured out we got these sort of awnings and it's like a wall decor item. And so I actually removed the entire roof, found the midline of the roof, raised up all of the awnings so that it covered it in a little stacked line, and it helped cover that gap and make more sense type thing. So just because here's the roof thing I use, and it really helps make the whole thing a lot more cute and more useful. I did cut out the part of me raising all of the different pieces up just because there was a lot of clipping to the existing roof walls, and it took a while. But I love this little awning piece. One of the things I'm not a huge fan about is the fact that it doesn't come in a huge amount of swatches. That's true for the pillars that we got. Anything, especially the pillars and the foundations, like they gave us a new stone that comes in 3 colors, and they gave us a new wood siding that comes in I think 6 or 9 colors. I think it's 9. But they gave us a combo of the 2, and it doesn't come in all of this like the options. So I wanted to use that light color and the dark color with the sort of neutral toned wood, not the darkest, or neutral toned stone, not the darkest one. But I couldn't do that because that dark wood was paired with the yellow toned stone. That sounded really weird. And it's just kind of not user friendly. And that could have been really easily solved just by having 3 wallpapers instead of the 1, and then you put, the 6 swatches of each wood color matched with the 3 stones. And the reason why they didn't do that is because it takes time and resources, but it's not a huge thing. It's not something that like it would have taken a huge amount of time or would have been like inconceivable to put effort into. It's something that's more like, well, instead of this, we're going to have this object, which I can understand the logic behind that. But in my opinion, it just makes these objects so like unusable that it's just frustrating for me. I am frustrated. I have to find something to be frustrated about, but I can't stress enough how much I'm excited about the gameplay in this, and I'm excited about the quality of the objects that are there and the quality of just the way the snow looks and fall, and everything is really well thought out. I honestly think this is probably their best thought out pack in terms of gameplay, especially, and just the way everything moves from one season to the next. It's just really nice. It's really nice, and it makes you really feel like there are seasons in your game, and there's weather, and there's unpredictability, and there's forecasts, and there's, just lots of other like fun little gameplay features. And you guys know me, I almost hardly ever do gameplay, but like this pack made me excited to do gameplay, which is, it takes a lot, because when each new pack has come out, like game pack or expansion pack, the 2 bigger ones, I've kind of been like, I could do some gameplay. I did a vampire thing. I did a pug let's play that lasted for 3 episodes. Nothing that really captured my attention and made me really want to like play. But this has, and I really appreciate that. But it is really lacking in the build objects, and so as a builder, that's a little frustrating, but like it's such a toss-up for me, because like on the one hand, it's like I don't want them to have taken away from all the cool gameplay aspects, but at the other hand, there are some things I'd really wish they hadn't done. Like they took a lot of items from the spooky stuff pack that came out like a couple years ago, and they just recolored them, and it was very, very lazy. It was very lazy the way they recolored those. And they recolored them with swatches that don't make sense. And the reason why they did it is so that players who don't have Spooky Stuff Pack can still decorate for Spooky Stuff Pack. But I would have much rathered that they just included one new spooky object instead of a repeat of, I think, 5 old ones. And that was just like, it was a little frustrating to me. They also included some recolors of these holiday items that we got for free, and I'm more okay with that. I still don't think that it was needed because that's a free pack. We already have that. We don't need more swatches of it. We don't need those items, like duplicates of them, crowding up the menu. So that's my opinion, though. And of course, I haven't talked about the house like hardly at all, but I have been talking about the game, so at least there's that. It was a little hard to furnish this, just because it was base game and season only, and there wasn't a huge amount of like normal objects that came with seasons. They did a really good job of including lots of like decorative things, especially for holidays, and those are really fun. I really like them. But it does make it hard if you're doing a seasons and base game only build. But I don't usually do that, so I'm like fine with it, you know? But you know, here's the sunroom, which I love. Oh my gosh. I think it looks so great in winter. It looks so great in summer. It's just so cute. Like, I love the way the glass fogs up and the skylights. They get all snowed in. I love the way the light looks in the summer when the windows are clear. It's all really cool. And you know, there's like a little fireplace in here to make it extra cozy. And I just really like how it turned out. I'm such a little nerd about my own build sometimes, but I do really like how this one turned out. And yeah. I ran out of steam. Like, I just like was talking, and then I crashed. But I mean, I like the new furniture. I like the way it looks. But again, with the wallpapers, I found that the new furniture was just, there were a lot of hard to use swatches. Like, The Sims kind of has this issue where they, I think, want something that looks new and fresh and cutting edge with their color palette, which I don't think is the best place to put that energy of creativity, just because it's a lot easier to use an object that has more basics and then a couple of fun, exciting colors than it is to use an object that has mostly fun and exciting colors and then maybe 1 or 2 basics. You know, like, I've heard this a lot, not just from me, but from a lot of other builders, is there's kind of, with not having a color wheel, and I'm not saying I want one, but with not having a color wheel, there's a difficulty of then not having everything match. And so one of the things I would love to see, and I don't know if we will, but I'd love to see it so that objects have 2 different color swatches, so you could do something like pick the wood tone on the piece and then pick like the color of the fabric. That would make the game 80 times more just like matchability, and it seems like it'd be an easier thing to manage than it would be to have a full-blown color wheel. But I'm not a game designer. What do I know? I'm just a person who likes to talk and build and complain a little bit. Just let me complain a little bit. I do like complaining. One of my favorite things about, not like one of them, but of the very many things I love about my boyfriend is that we both love complaining, and we love complaining to each other, and it's just very satisfying. It can just be very satisfying. But speaking of the boyfriend, I had the cutest date with him the other day. We went to this place that sells ice cream, and it's also a pinball machine place. And so we both had our ice cream in one hand, and we wanted to play the pinball machines. So we did the cutest couple thing, and we each took one side of the pinball machine, and we played the games together. And we were terrible at playing the games, but we both were super into it and excited. And like, there was this one part where we got like a triple ball bonus, and there were like, all of a sudden there were 2 extra like pinballs bouncing around the machine, and we were both freaking out, and it was just so much fun. It was a blast. And I actually took the day off of streaming to go do that, and it was really good, I think. And sometimes it can be really good to just take a break, because even though I like streaming, it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy to do YouTube videos. It takes a lot of energy to be present and like excited for streams, because sometimes I go into a stream and I'm like, oh no, I'm so low energy, nobody's gonna want to watch me. I do worry about that, but people seem to like my content, which makes me happy, and it makes you guys happy, so it's a mutual benefit here. But this house, gosh, Penelope, this house has 2 bedrooms. I'm not a huge fan of how both the bedrooms turned out. I like this master bedroom better, but I tried to use the purple swatches, and it was just, again, kind of difficult to use. And like with the bed, the new bed, it has a lot of just kind of difficult to use, and it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating, especially because I come from a perspective of I have so many hours playing and building in The Sims, like I have a lot of people who have enjoyed the stuff I've put together, and I find these difficult to use. I'm frustrated by these, and so I can only imagine what somebody who isn't as confident in their building experience, what they must feel when being faced with some of these swatches. I just don't know what to do with them. Don't know what to do. But I mean, I made it work in the end, and that's cool. But again, complaining. Especially this, I don't know what it was about this kids' room, but it ended up being so cluttered, and I felt uninspired, and I was like, I would almost just delete this room completely, and I'd be like, yeah, this is an improvement on the house. If you like this room, that is totally cool. I am very pleased. It's just a little cluttered for my taste, and it's funny that I say that when having built it, but when it comes to this room, it's kind of an odd shape, and I like to have a certain number of objects in a room, especially in a bedroom and a children's room. I like to have stuff for the kids to play with, that sort of thing, and so it was kind of, oh my god, when I was test playing this, Vlad, the vampire, came in and just smashed the dollhouse, and I was so PO'd. I was just like, I don't even have a child in this home, but I need this for the screenshots. So I had to have my sim go rebuild it. And I was like, oh, Vlad, I hate you so much, Vlad. So much. But, oh my gosh, one of the things I haven't talked about is that with all these cool new features in the game, we have had a really bad glitch with the wallpaper. It's so slow and laggy, and it takes a really long time. So I actually cut out almost all of my wallpapering in this, just because it really was both difficult to do and difficult to watch, in my opinion. There was just a lot going on. But in return, I guess I cut out a lot of the landscaping. I don't know what I'm talking about. But what did I keep? Oh my gosh. I don't even know what I kept. But I didn't, the house that goes up on the gallery will probably be set up for spring. Nothing no super warm weather objects like the new kiddie pool, or maybe I'll put the water balloons out there, but nothing too decked out, just because I want it to be a little bit more plain. This is on a lot that you think the front of the house is on the opposite side of this, the long end, but when you go to upload it to the gallery, the front of the house is actually the short end. And so luckily for the thumbnail, it doesn't look too bad, but I did kind of try and keep that in mind when I built this. And so I usually build from the front and then go back, but this time I actually built from the side and the back, and then I worked my way around to the front, which was kind of fun building for me, because I don't usually do that, but it was a lot. There was a lot going on, but we are coming up on the end of this build, and I think that I've talked about mostly everything. There was one little story I wanted to tell. When we were coming home from said pinball date, we were kind of just joking around, but we were playing that song, Wake Me Up, or Bring Me to Life is the name, but it's Wake Me Up, can't wake up, that song. And we were both kind of joking around to it, and right as the song hit the drop, bring me home, and then wake me up. A car cut us off and we were fine. You know, we braked in time, but it was just so startling because both of us were about to like launch into the like crazy chorus and we were cut off literally. But that was just a dumb little story. But I hope you guys are all having a really great day. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give me a like, a comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys all next time. Goodbye.